In the previous two videos, we learned about the simple and advanced modes for Trimsheet Maker Pro. Now we're actually going to take a look at the Pro features. If I enable the Pro features, the first thing that we get is the ability to define custom color IDs. So I can set that to true. If we look at the actual inputs now, each of these material inputs has a color ID option. So you're in a production environment and you want to define your own custom color IDs, you can do that with this tool. The other thing is, without the custom color IDs, you're really limited to up to 32 materials chained together if you're needing the color ID channels, because we're only getting 8 materials per channel and we're limiting ourselves up to 32 materials then of unique color ID information. So by using the Pro node, we can override that. In theory, we could probably have as many materials linked together as we wanted. I don't know how much you would really want to do that, but it is possible. The other larger feature really with the Pro version is the ability to stack in materials that are not tileable. So let's take a look at that now. For this demo, I have 4 tiled materials. I have 4 nodes down here. I want these to essentially represent any type of decal or cut-ins that you're going to put in your trim sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and just increase my number count here to 8. Now, the way this tool currently works, at least the design pattern I have, is the idea that you are going to start by initially creating all your tiled materials first. So we go tiled materials, and then at some point on the later part of the page, you want to switch over from tiled to non-tiled. The node right now doesn't really support the ability to go tiled, non-tiled, back to tiled. If I go and I look at my 5th material here, you'll see that I had previously set the tile to false. So by default, it's tiling, and I can set this to false, and now it will not tile. And it'll by default stack immediately underneath the previous material. And so we have this alignment option, below or next to. So this one's set to below. Let's go ahead and just add our next material in here. I'm going to hook this in, and you'll see that this material, its tile pattern is set to false as well, and its parent is set to 5, and then its alignment this time though is set to next. Okay, so this gives us this ability to stack these next to one another or below one another. Now you can do interesting things. I could take this material here, let's put in material 7, and I could go in there and I could say I want this to actually be below, and rather being below material 6, I could set it over to being below material 5. In this particular case, it doesn't really make much sense because the tile pattern is being cut off there. But you do have the ability, once you turn tile modes off, to change which parent, i.e. material, that this is aligning to. So let's go ahead and set this back to 6, and we're going to set this to beside. And then we'll just do the same thing again here for our final material. It's next to, and you'll see here right now, because I've been playing with some of the sliders, we have a little bit of some empty space at the bottom that we could fill with something. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and just change the reduction on one of these. There we go. So those are the 2 additional features you get with the Pro version of Trimsheet Maker Pro.